Hi, guys. Welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host, Nicole. Thank you so much for coming back another week. I missed you so much, and I double miss you because TikTok was taken away from us for 10 hours, 12 hours, however long it was for you. Um, and it was awful. It was plain awful. I went through all the stages of grief. I was crying several times. I went on live for 5 hours and hung out with you guys and spilled all my tea. So if you weren't there on the live, let's get into, no, I'm kidding. I don't think I can unpack everything again, but it was honestly kind of refreshing just to leave it all out there so that when we came back on the app 10 hours later, I felt like clean slate. I felt reconnected to you guys. I feel like I answered all your questions. We left everything in 2024. So that actually feels really, really good. And it was also a good reflection period to see how far I've come and to talk about all the things that I've been through with you guys and how much I've grown and changed and the things that used to feel so big, and important and devastating and drama filled and chaotic, like all these things that at the time felt, like it was like my world was crumbling or, losing friendships or things not working out with guys or, whatever it was, to reflect back on those things and be like, that wasn't, of course, not to invalidate my feelings, but big picture, those things were meant to happen and they weren't that big of a deal, like they were all part of the process and the growth process, and we got through it. And now it's like, with my new mindset, with this new version of me and this new power that I've stepped into, if a lot of those things were to happen to me now, or I just would have acted different, and I think that's the beautiful thing, is knowing that just give yourself grace. Like when you're younger, things feel bigger, things feel heavier, things feel harder because you don't know yourself as much, or you're putting a lot of your self-esteem or how you feel about yourself, your self-love, based on how somebody else feels about you, or based on how many friends you have, or based on your success or how things are working out for you. And then when you get older, you start to realize, well, those things aren't that important. Like, as long as I'm okay with myself, as long as I'm okay with my path, my journey, and where I'm headed, and I have good morals and values, and I stand by those things, and I'm feeling good, then that's okay. And you're quicker to let go of things that aren't serving you and people who aren't serving you too. And it's less of a big, dramatic, emotional thing. So it was nice to look back and be like, wow, like I've matured so much and I've grown so much, and I actually learned from those experiences and they actually shaped me to who I am. And going forward, I'll never, experience that again. Like a lot of those things that I experienced were just like one-offs, or I just had to learn my lesson and I had to keep experiencing them. I know now, like I'm never going to have to go through that stuff again because I already went through it when I was younger, and I'm excited to go into my 30s in March with this whole new me and this whole new view on life and how I want to present myself and go through things and how I choose to live my life now. So anyways, that kind of leads me to like what I want to talk about today, which is, how do you know you're on the right path? How do you know you're on the path and you're aligned with yourself and the things that you want, your goals, and how are you staying clear on those things? And how do you know you're doing the right thing? How do you know that you're honoring your feelings in the right way? So we're kind of going to jump into that a little bit. I'm trying to think if I have any other updates for you guys. Oh, I leave Thursday for Tulum, so that's exciting. It's my best friend Ashley's bachelorette. I actually introduced her to her fiance. You guys know that story of when I moved to Miami. So some of you guys do. If you don't, long story short, when I moved to Miami, a guy put me up in his apartment for a month. That sounds bad, but he's from my hometown and I loosely knew him, and he lived in Miami. And when I was moving down here on a whim, he offered me his place while he was in Connecticut. And then I lived at his place while I didn't have a job and while I didn't know if I was going to stay here, which was very, very nice of him. And Ashley actually came to visit me and stay at his place. And then he missed his flight, so they overlapped in their stays. They got to know each other. Long story short, they're now engaged and getting married this year. So yes, we have her bachelorette. I'm super excited. It's going to be a good reset for me because I do feel like 3 weeks ago, like the energy was really heavy after the new year, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys feel this too, but I was really feeling like low energy, a little bit like down bad, like a little sad. I was in my saddies. Baddies get saddy. And I was just feeling a little like confused and lost and drained, and that was okay. I let myself go through that. I'm pretty sure I talked to you guys about that too. It was just like I wanted to be hermit mode. I still kind of do. I really just want to focus on so many of these amazing things that I've had happening for me, and social life or things that I don't have that battery for or energy for or want to do. Like, I'm not doing those things. And that's just kind of how I'm living my life in general now. But like, if it means that, I am hanging out with less people just because I need time for myself and to recharge and focus on some other things, and so be it. So that's kind of like how I feel right now in this phase, but I am feeling better. And I think this trip to Tulum will be a nice reset, like a nice girls trip. It could be quite therapeutic, and spending time with some of my friends who I haven't been able to spend like real quality time with. So leaving Miami and really just being like, we're on vacation, is a different energy than me just going to go see them here, because we're still in the chaos of, not chaos, but we're still in real life, and whatever. So it'll be really nice. I'm happy that I have TikTok back again, so I can TikTok it and bring you guys with me. And I also think a positive that came out of TikTok being taken away just on that is that I feel reconnected to a lot of you guys. And I did start to, I feel, almost lose my why, my passion, my purpose. I think that's why I was also feeling a little like low energy last week, is just because I was like, what am I doing? Like, I didn't know if I was still doing the right thing, or if I was still serving a purpose, or if my voice was still important to you, And I think with TikTok going down, so many of you guys who maybe were silent followers, or just who I haven't seen in a while or really talked candidly to in a while, we started talking again. Like I started going live again, and I got to hear from a lot of you guys and how I have impacted and changed your lives, and that you look forward to my content and you look up to me, and whether it's to push you to do yoga or Pilates, or whether it's because, whatever it is that I helped you with, a small or big scale, it doesn't matter. But I started to be like, wait, like, you do have a purpose, and you do help people, and this is your passion, Nicole. So that was like really nice. I feel reconnected, and I feel kind of like re-inspired, and like I really do want to keep building this community and connecting with you guys, whether it's on TikTok or through, my classes at Mimi's, if you guys come see me at Mimi's, or through my 365 community that I'm creating with Donna, where we get to host events and hopefully retreats very soon, and really build a not just virtual community, but a physical one as well. That being said, I will be hosting classes. This kind of inspired me to get back on Zoom, not back on Zoom, but to get onto Zoom and put together a little class for you guys to take over Zoom. I wasn't sure if people would be interested in that, but it sounds like you guys would. And I think it would actually be really nice to connect with you all on Zoom and just be so fun. Because I remember when I was in TT, we had our Zoom nights, and we would flow sometimes at home, or it would just be us all talking. And that was really nice to have that community. And I think if we could do a flow and then a little workshop after, where we just kind of all talk, or I put a little prompt out there where we can just discuss something, like, I think it could be really therapeutic and fun for us. So be on the lookout for that. That was a long intro. That was like a 10-minute intro. So let's get into the topic of how do you know you're on the right path and you're making the right decisions for yourself. And, even when times where you start to feel lost, like, how do you keep wanting to push through and know that you're doing the right thing? So I think one of the most important things in knowing that you're on the right path is that you have this sense of fulfillment. If what you are doing aligns with your why, then you're on the right path. And your why can be very big picture. Your why could be, I want to make people feel good. I want to make people feel confident. Whatever your why is, I don't know what it could, it's so different for every single person, but whatever your why is, if you are accomplishing that why every single day with, something as minuscule as what you do, something very minuscule, it doesn't matter. But if what you are doing is getting you closer to that and is fulfilling that goal and checking that box, then you're on the right path and you're doing it, This feeling, that fulfillment, that like pure joy and happiness from what you are doing is a clear indicator that you're on the right path. If you're leaving your job feeling good, and listen, things happen, but big picture, if you look at it and you still are very proud of what you're showing up to do and you're overall genuinely happy, then you're on the right path, right? It's like after a workout class, you leave feeling good. If you leave that situation feeling more powerful, stronger, a sense of accomplishment, like you did the right thing. You needed that workout, and you probably went in maybe not feeling sure if you wanted that workout or if you wanted to do it, and then you did it and then you left feeling better, then you did the right thing. You're on the right path. So you can kind of put that with anything in life. I think decisions are really difficult, obviously, especially ones that our heart is involved in. And it's not always going to feel good, I think is important to know. But with a little time, if you start to feel better, then you know you're on the right path. Take your emotions in the present moment with a grain of salt and try to think of future you and how that version of you will feel. If you are in a bad relationship and the overarching emotion is sadness or resentment, anger, loneliness, insecurity, that's probably an indicator that you shouldn't be in that relationship. The breakup is going to be hard, no matter how toxic or bad the relationship is. It's still going to hurt, whether it's because you invested time, energy, love, or you still have those feelings for that person, but you also know that they're not right for you. Breaking up with them is going to be hard and it's going to hurt for a little bit. But in your heart of hearts, I think you will have that sense of relief of, I know this hurts right now, but I'm making the right choice. And in weeks from now or days, even days, maybe months, you start to just feel a little bit better every single day, or feel like, that was hard, but I don't want to go back. Like, I think you will just know if things feel good, if things are feeling better, then you're on the right path. But don't expect for it to feel good immediately. And I think that's important to also note, is sometimes you can be on the right path and still be hurting on the way there, or still be hurting on that path, or still be questioning things. You just have to give sometimes things a little bit of time. Like, the path isn't going to illuminate always right away. There might just be a little lag time. And kind of hand in hand with that is, if the decisions that you are making, you are learning from and growing from, I think that's a clear indicator. I think if you're able to gain something out of some sort of decision or impact or opportunity that you're taking, or whatever it is that you are doing, if you are learning and growing from it, you're on the right path. If it's developing you, if it's shaping you, if it's making you a more dynamic character, you probably need that thing, or to make that decision, or to do that thing, or to take that thing away from you. Like, it really just depends on the situation. But if you are learning and growing from it, that's important. That's a sign that you're doing the right things. Because whatever you're learning right now is going to be a tool that you need in the future, or is going to be a tool that prevents you from getting yourself into that similar situation in the future, or making that decision in the future. Like, I've made bad decisions so many times that I learned from them finally, where it's like, if that thing was presented to me as a test one more time, I'm going to say no, to the point that those things won't even come into my path anymore. They won't even be presented to me anymore, because I won't be attracting those things. But I think it takes sometimes there's a little test in between to be like, what did you learn? And did you grow from this? And if you then have the knowledge and the strength to say no to those things, and then those things stop presenting themselves to you, then that's a sign that you are on the right path and that you're making the right decisions, that you're aligned with the right things. If I was on this path that I am about with not drinking and partying, and I still had friends hitting me up every weekend to go drink and party, or I was putting myself in these situations where it was like, oh, you can go to this party, blah, 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 like, or you can go to this DJ, you can come to this. I kept finding myself in these situations. I'd be like, am I putting out that energy then still that I want to party and drink? Or like, have I not made it clear? Like, have I not stood in my morals and values enough? But I don't. Like, nobody even asks me to like go out and drink and party or this or that. Like, and I don't find myself in those weird situations anymore. Not weird, but I don't find myself in those situations anymore that don't align with me. So that just shows that I've made a very clear path and I'm standing in my values and morals. And I think that's another segue into something how is like if the things that you are doing align with your values. Oh my God, my foot coming into focus. If the things that you're doing, not my foot in the frame. If the things that you are doing are aligned with your values and they're making you feel good and you're feeling like you're being a good person, you're showing up as a good person, you're inspiring others around you, you're on the right path. If you are following this path of like, this is bad, this is against my values, this is against what I believe, probably don't do those things. Go for the things that you feel certain about and that you feel strongly about and you feel proud to put out there and you feel represent you as a person. Don't make decisions that don't, because that is a reflection of your character and who you are. If you are forming positive relationships and connections throughout your journey as well, if you are being aligned with people who support you, if you are aligned with people who have similar mindset, values, and interests, you are putting yourself on the right path. And if those relationships feel like easy to maintain, and if those relationships feel, uplifting and like your community, you're building your community around you. So if the people around you are your mirror, is it a mirror that you want to look into? And is it a mirror that you like? Because you pretty much are the sum of the 5 people around you. So keep that in mind too. And if you are having positive connections with people around you, then that's great. Those positive connections, whether they be platonic, romantic, or work-wise, let's say, like, or whatever, like those people too who you meet, like people that you network with, if they're in the similar field as you, then you're going to be aligned with also more opportunities. And perhaps they are the segue to those things, or they're the puzzle piece that connects you to something else. They're the piece that connects you to something else. Like, I've met so many people in the Pilates field or the yoga field who we've become friends, and then they also support what I do, but want to get me more involved and refer me. Then more opportunities start being presented to me, and not handed to me, but are coming at me, because I'm putting myself in that lane. When opportunities start coming to you, when synchronicities start happening, when you start to meet people who want to help you, or meet people who are doing something that you want to do, or know the person that you need to know, or have a connect to something that you need, that's also like an indicator that you're on the right path. When things just start falling into place for you. 2 examples. When I moved to Miami, and I, again, didn't mean to move here, back to that story. When I came here, my TikTok started to gain traction. I was turned away from multiple job opportunities that I almost got. I went to so many job interviews and none of them ended up panning out for me. And even though I was like hurt in the moment and confused, I also knew that that's not where my heart, like I knew my heart didn't lie in those things, and I wasn't meant to do those things. And those things rejected me because it wasn't right for me. And I was going to reject those things. I was rejecting those things in my heart. And then having a friend who was able to connect me with her friend who actually wanted to move out Miami, and I needed a place to sublet. And then that fell into place for me. And then I was able to make TikTok my full time, and suddenly I had a place in Miami, and suddenly my life was being, my life was unfolding before my eyes without me controlling it, without me trying to figure it out. And things were just happening. And then it was getting signed. And then it was getting my first brand deal. And then it just became my life, you know? Things started to fall into place without me having to force things. And I was meeting people who I needed to meet. And like synchronicities were just happening. When I just went to an event just recently, probably 2 months ago, I went to a 437 event. I sat next to this girl in the class and I picked the mat next to her. You know, I could have picked any mat. I picked the one next to her and I just struck up conversation. Me and her start talking. We actually hit it off. We go to lunch that week. And then she wants to create this wellness app with me. And now here we are. And Donna's a great friend of mine. And she teaches at Mimi's now. She got a job offer at Mimi's soon after me. And we're creating this app together. Had I never gone to that event, had I never sat in that mat, had I never felt the urge to strike up a conversation with her, we wouldn't be here. So it's stuff like that you know you're on the right path. I was meant to go to that event. I was meant to sit there. I was meant to talk to her so that this could unfold for me. We just did a photo shoot this weekend for the app. The girls who were doing the photo shoot were the girls that I met in my teacher training. Had I never did that teacher training, I wouldn't have been at the place to be at that. Guys, it's just so crazy. Like the fact that I happened to get my yoga certification as I met Donna, which we aligned at the right time, because had me and Donna met a year ago, when getting my yoga certification wasn't even on my mind, she would have never wanted to present the offer of us doing a fitness app together. And I never would have thought that I could have done that. So I had to meet her at that time where I was just finishing up my teacher training. I had to meet Nicole and Piety, who were photographers in my teacher training. So we all had to take the teacher training at the same time for us to connect, where now they're going to be like our photographers and videographers moving forward with the brand. And they just did our photo shoot this weekend. So it's just like, if things start to line up for you, you know you're on the right path. Nothing's being forced. It's just like you're hitting these like benchmarks that were placed there for you. And it's kind of like a ding, 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 ding. Like you're on the right journey. And I'm picturing as I'm in like a lane and I'm playing Mario Kart and there's like the little mystery boxes that are like waiting on the road. And I picture it as like me collecting each and every single one of them as I like hit those things. And in each box, there's like the next thing. Sometimes you swerve and get hit out of your lane, but then as long as your morals and your why is still there and you're still finding that sense of fulfillment and accomplishment and everything, you can get back in your lane and you can pick up right where you left off, you know? And sometimes it takes like swerving in and out a little bit to come back. And I've definitely done that multiple times, but I feel like that's just life. But I think as long as you're feeling good and opportunities that are aligned with your morals, values, and your why are being presented to you, you're doing the right things. And I think that's just your intuition and trusting that. And if you're following your intuition and it's making you feel good and it's leading you down good paths, then it's right for you. You like just listen to your body, just listen to your heart, just listen to like where you naturally want to go and the joy that it's filling you with. And your intuition will never steer you wrong, ever. So I think lastly, you'll know when you're on the right path if what you are doing, and this goes with your why, is having a positive contribution to also the community around you and the community that you want to build. If you feel a sense of accomplishment from your contribution, if you feel like you are giving back in the way that you want to give back, if you feel like that sense of happiness and joy throughout your journey, believe me, there's going to be times when it's hard and you want to give up. But it's honestly though, no. Like I think there's times where I have breakdowns and I'm like, I want to throw, like I just want to like give up. I guess there's times, but in my heart, I know I don't want to. But externally, I'm like, screw this all. I'm over it. It's hard. It's not paying off. Like, I just want to cry and never film anything a day in my life again because my videos aren't getting views. Yeah, I have that moment of self-pity. But then when someone's like, okay, then actually give up, I'd be like, well, I don't want to actually give up, you know? So I think it's knowing that in those times, where you could give up, you know that you don't want to, and you know that you can push through. And maybe you have a little mentee B, but then you come out with stronger. And if you're just like resilient to that stuff and the changes that happen, like things aren't always going to go your way, but failure is not an option. So you keep pushing. I think that's a good sign that you're on the right path. If you immediately just want to give up and run away from what you are doing and completely like make a 180, then you probably aren't on the right path, and maybe you should follow that gut intuition and just let it be and let it go. You know, with anything, like even with a relationship too, if you're ready to just throw in the towel and you don't want to work on anything, then that's probably doomed. Okay, but as long as you are enjoying the ride and you're okay with the ups and downs, and you can still find the positives in everything, and you can still keep a positive mindset, you're doing okay, and you're doing great. And it's not easy, but I think to make a half-hour episode very short, if I wanted to, how do you know you're on the right path? You're listening to your intuition, and you're happy. That's it. As long as you are doing what you feel is right, and it's making you a better person, and you're contributing to society in a way that you want to, and you're getting positive feedback too, that could be another indicator. If the people around you are loving what you are doing, if they are encouraging you, if you're getting compliments, if you're getting even people, oh, you're glowing, you're doing the right thing. After my yoga classes, if people tell me that was so amazing, that was everything I needed, that is the validation that, you know, I need from other people sometimes. If people were saying my classes sucked, or I was giving bad energy, or this or that, I would have to go back to the drawing board. And doesn't mean I have to quit what I'm doing, but I need to change something because I'm bringing bad energy to the table, or I'm not fulfilling I'm not fulfilling my why of wanting to make people feel good. So what am I doing wrong? And then try to find my alignment with that again. And that's not the case always, of course. Like, not every single person's going to love my class, but if the feedback is 90% positive, like, I'm doing the right thing. If you're attracting good people, and if you're attracting good opportunities, and if your people are noticing, then you're probably doing the right thing. That's all I have for you guys today. I love you all so much. I'm going to post a YouTube vlog this week, trying to get back onto that. That's also something good that came out of TikTok going away, is I was like, you know what? Maybe I will get back onto my YouTube vlogs. Follow me on Instagram, Nicole Doyan, Snapchat, Nicole Doyan, YouTube, Nicole Doyan, TikTok, Nicole_Doyan. And that's it. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and we will chat very soon when I get back from Tulum. Bye.